My name is Steven Morowitz. Where you are right now is the Distribpix sort of spillover area, which is located in the Vinegar Syndrome headquarters. This area was about double the size, and it really represented everything that came out of my warehouse, which was in New Jersey for, I don't know, a dozen years or so. And I'm standing with Lisa, Something Weird Video.
Hi.
Everyone knows Lisa. She's the
I don't know about everybody,
legend in this thing.
And this is my first time here, so I'm
Yes.
finally getting to, visit the infamous Vinegar Syndrome film archive, which let me just tell you, it's mind-blowing. Coming here, it feels like a little piece of home because I recognize so many films and even just the boxes that the films are in. I've got like very familiar handwriting from my late husband, Mike Franey. Like, I recognize, obviously these were in the
Yeah, and some of them are just the boxes. There's not actual...
I was like, I remember what that one was and that one was.
Yeah. My father was always involved in film and video, and he started Distribpix in 64, 65. And in the early 90s, I guess Movie Lab had gone out of business in New York, and after a lot of the materials were given back to the rightful owners or had the opportunity.
Yeah, they tried to contact people to let them know that, hey, your stuff is still here, and they did their due diligence, but very few people came forward. So there was thousands and thousands and thousands of film elements, negatives, prints, 35 millimeter, 16 millimeter, all different types of films.
But without my dad necessarily being a guy who was anything about film preservation, I just think my dad saw possibly money in it, and even in a weird way, he saw it as trying to maybe get stuff back to the rightful owners for a fee. And I don't know really how it ended up, but he ended up having it. And I think my dad saved Movie Lab stuff from being thrown away, gone into oblivion, whatever. But shortly before that, he had been contacted by Mike Franey about Distribpix movies that they produced and said, Arthur, can we put some of these out? And they did a deal based on, I think it was called The Dirty Dozen.
Yeah, and that was in 1992. So like some of the funnest movies, well, there's many fun movies from Distribpix, but mostly 60s exploitation, black and white films that fit in with what Something Weird was doing in the early 90s. That was pretty much a defining moment for Something Weird because up until that time we hadn't been like restoring negatives or mostly like Mike would find various 35 millimeter films out in the wild and he's having very low end scans of things done. All of a sudden like he's getting his hands on original film elements and the negatives and being able to like, all right, we're going to do like a first class transfer at the time. It was still standard definition and whatever. And
but from the
released that stuff. First it came out on VHS and then DVD. But that was just a really exciting time for home video. The journey that each one of these films here went through was just incredible because it did. They came from New York and then went to Los Angeles. They were housed in a warehouse like under the 6th Street Bridge for 10 years or so until we gave up that lease, and then over the course of an entire summer, truckloads of films were coming to Seattle.
The Pacific Northwest,
And it was like, where are we going to put all this stuff? And then sadly, Mike Franey passes away in 2014, and we had already had an agreement that Steven and Distribpix would be taking back film elements.
For about a year and a half, I think I was 6 or 7 trips total.
Yeah.
Where I would come up and we would work together and it was literally like getting a semi-truck, getting a forklift, having some helpers, but like we went through tons of stuff. You did a tremendous amount of work and assistance, but it was just about trying to know that the stuff would still get taken care of, and that stuff little by little made its way back to New Jersey, where I had a warehouse and a headquarters. In that time, Joe is one of the founders of Vinegar Syndrome, and I've known Joe for about
since January of 2008.
If he didn't ever learn anything else, he probably would still know more than just about anybody I know. But he would come out to New Jersey between 2015 and 16 and to 2020 when I finally left. Every few months when he was here, and he would dig through the elements like a treasure trove. Oh, I knew, and unravel, and he would leave, and I would always take me 3 days to clean up the warehouse when he would leave because stuff would be everywhere. But that was the way things got sparsed out. And eventually I just basically started toying with the idea of calling him and his partner and said, I kind of thinking it might be better for me to, instead of fight the current, get up there, you have an archive, I want this to be done right. Also, it was a matter of finding immortality for the archive.
Yeah.
Because Library of Congress, yeah, they would have wanted a couple of things, but sacrifice 40 pallets for 2 films, or do I spread stuff out ever? And nobody wants this kind of stuff. We're the people they call when they want to get rid of the adult and the exploitation. They want the, you know, Gone with the Wind and Casablanca and all these big films. But the point is that, so eventually we worked something out, and I was able to start slowly bringing stuff up here, truckload at a time. When all was said and done, it took about 18 months to move out of New Jersey. And got up here, and we started breaking down the stuff. And the area that you see here is sort of the Distribpix work area that the guys here at Vinegar Syndrome. And since then, I've become part of Vinegar Syndrome. I work for the company, but I've also sort of become an archivist to this movie lab stuff. This reel might not have bared so well, but but that's kind of like a lot of
This
what we're.
is a film,
you know, this was
preservationist
from-
nightmare.
Now chances are this will still actually be
Of course, you
fine.
have to have a tetanus shot.
Oh, well, we'll take you in here, and this is exciting. It's a little chilly, so I'm ready. You're going to be fine.
Oh my god, this is amazing! It's like just a sea of blue plastic cans filled with goodness.
And you know what? In a weird way, sometimes when you look at this, it kind of takes away that beautiful thing that you were talking about before, where you see the handwritten movie lab labels, and you see, and you can tell the history of the thing, but.
It's properly archived.
Yeah.
Feel. I know what that is. That's a Triple X movie from 1971. You got a Distribpix title here. Awesome. Okay, so Lullaby of Bearland. This is one that should come out on Blu-ray at some point. It stars Virginia Bell, who has 2 giant bells. Yeah, I mean, this was in just a box before, and now to see, and this is the negative, so
Correct.
You've got multiple cans here. Hollywood Nude Report. It looks like, so this was something we didn't put out because it was incomplete. And I believe this might be a Barry Mahon film that has never come out on home video, so that would be a great one.
So let's see. So okay, so that would make sense. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this is complete.
Well, this is what I'm especially excited about that I see here. It's Spiked Heels and Black Nylons.
Yes.
It's a 1960s exploitation film. Whit Boyd produced it, and you know it's always been a good seller for something weird. But it's about as trashy as it gets. And yeah, to see just this is almost too good for this film.